What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mind Something. If you're new here, my name is Jake, and in today's video we're going to finish up the solar system. I got a few little loose ends to take care of, and yeah, you guys are going to go to work with me. So put on your work boots, put on your gloves, let's get it done. All right, so first thing we got to do is we got to check the length on these wires. Okay guys, so the next step in this process here is to drill some holes in our junction box. And essentially what we're doing here is we need to drill a hole for this grommet so that we can get wires into the building and make sure that they are sealed tight, waterproof, no leaks inside. And then we're going to put this coupler here at the bottom so that we can run our conduit up into it. Now, most likely what's going to happen is we're going to have our wires come up into the top of this, and these wires coming out of the bottom of this and going down and into the building. So let's get started. Okay, so what we don't want to happen is we don't want to use these holes here because we can't get a solid watertight seal. So we need to go on top of the ribs about right here and about right here. So we're going to pre-drill some holes for that. Let's make sure we get it lined up. Okay, so now that we got our holes pre-drilled, what I want to do is use these screws because they have a rubber washer on them that we can utilize to make sure that we don't have any water leaks. Okay guys, so I wanted to check with the multimeter to make sure continuity was reading properly. That way I could figure out, okay, does my input go at the top and my output come out the bottom? There weren't any instructions with this, so I grabbed a multimeter and I checked for polarity. As you can hear, our pole 1 and 2 do have polarity. However, 1 and 4 also had polarity, as well as 1 and 3. And same thing across, you know, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I could not for the life of me figure out what the hell was going on. So I took this out of the box, and looking at the bottom of this thing, bear in mind this was in here as well, I realized that these were removable, but it took me a minute to figure out how to remove them. Essentially what you need to do is just unscrew from there, and then these will come out. And now what you'll see is that we no longer have polarity across the other terminals. Now you should have polarity on this one, unless we put it in the off position. And there we go. So no longer polarity in the off position to the adjacent one. Now this is extremely important to catch, because otherwise I would have arced out my lines, which would have been extremely detrimental. And if you're running more than one string of solar panels, then you need something that's going to have 4 inputs. And excuse me, you would only need, if you're, let me back up here. If you're running one string, you can still use this switch, but essentially the bottoms are bridged. So you would have an in, you would make a jumper from 2 to 4, and then you would have an out coming out of 3. This would still function properly. However, with 2 strings, what you need is 4 inputs and 4 outputs. And this is capable of doing that. However, you do need to remove the jumpers there at the bottom. And there you go. Okay, so we're going one at a time. These are going to be our inputs to the inverter. And once we're done, we're going to label these. These will connect to the east side panels, and the others will connect to the west side panels. All right, so what we're doing now is just making our jumper from this row to that row. And in this case, it's going to be a positive to a negative. Doesn't really matter what color we use, just using what we got. It's windy, guys, I'm sorry. It's typical here in West Texas. Let's make sure we get our ends correct. So we're going to need the female adapter on this side. The female takes the small pin as opposed to the hollow pin, larger hollow pin. Just a heads up, once you put these in, you see these little spikes? It does not go backwards. So once it's in there, it is in there. Let's make sure that we are using the right one. We are good. Now we don't know for sure what we're using on this side until we finish that over there. So let's go ahead and plug that side in. We are all connected on this side. Let's make sure the second row is connected. Okay, let's go check voltage on this one. We are testing DC. All right, as you can see, we are getting 491 volts DC. Our polarity is correct. We got our positive to positive and negative to negative on the leads of the multimeter, and we do not have a negative symbol. So polarity is good. Now on the other one, I don't have them all hooked up yet. I only have 4 hooked up, and we're getting 134 volts, and we'll finish up that other side here in just a moment. I wanted to make sure we don't exceed voltage to the inverter, which is capped out at 550 volts. Uh-oh. That's not good. So we've only got 2 connections left, even though I'd like to replace this one that seems to be damaged. We're just going to have to rig it and hope for the best. Definitely want to make sure that this one is watertight and that nothing can get in there, but definitely want to make a mental note of this. I'm just going to test fit. Not going to plug this one in all the way. Definitely looks like that is going to be a problem. It's not plugging in. If we compare these to another one, we can see how bad the damage is. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty significant and very unfortunate. I did mess up on 2 of my terminations. I would have enough to finish this if I had not, but I'm just gonna have to see what we can do to remedy this issue. The biggest thing is making sure that that rubber seal makes a good seal to avoid any kind of liquid getting inside of this. Okay guys, we're gonna skip this panel. Just don't see any other option, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Thing to be aware of as we go down the line, every single panel that we add is adding another 30 volts, and this is starting to get extremely dangerous. So we do not want to touch the end of this or allow it to touch the metal of the roof. that one to the end, we'll make our connection, which is going to be female on this side, should be male on this side. Again, we want to make sure we have the fat end for the male side. Double check, make sure that that is correct. Like I said, I screwed up one earlier, and that was costly because we need one extra one. And I may be able to salvage one of the ones that I messed up, but it sure would be nice to be able to finish this all right now. This one should give us less than 490 watts, or the other one, for two reasons. One, we are short one solar panel, and two, the sun is currently on the west side of the building, giving the most sunlight to these solar panels, whereas these are not getting direct sunlight. Wow, 494 volts on the, oh, we're still on the west side. Let's check the east side. 468. So yeah, we're short those 30 panels. So it looks like that side, the east side solar panels, may perform a little bit better than the west. I guess we'll just wait and see. Okay, we are switching to the on position. Okay guys, last step. Gotta put on our stickers. Who would have thought? Last step should be the easiest step. It's going to be the hardest step.